Hey, internet friend, this is Magic Brad here for the Magic Brad Show, and this is going to be fun because I have a new friend on, and he's a new guest, and it's about the concept of referral marketing, and referral marketing is probably one of the best ways. Basically, it used to be called word of mouth, and it's when people start referring your business for you, and what's wonderful about it is they're satisfied customers. So when they tell somebody else and they say, hey, have you seen that movie? You go to the movie, or if you say you should go down to that restaurant down there, they got a great burger, you get that referral from the actual customer, and the business comes in a lot easier than trying to have a sales force out there trying to convince people that they need to buy your product or service. So this guest I'm about to bring on, his name is Jack, and he knows more about this than I do, but I just saw this piece of software and this platform for doing this. And you know how technology is. They're always coming up with new stuff, artificial intelligence and all that kind of thing. So let me bring on Jack here. 1, 2, 3. Jack, you there?
I'm here. Hey, how's it going?
We got perfect reception because you're in the same state as I am, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It has nothing to do with the reception, though, does it? It's just hope that we got the things connected right.
Absolutely. Yeah, the sun's shining here, and that's all I need to know about Minnesota weather. So I'm a happy
That's right.
camper.
Yeah, we're coming up on July, August, and it might snow. You never know.
There's always a chance. Yeah,
I don't,
absolutely.
I don't
If it's
think
not
it'll.
snow, it's mosquitoes.
There you go. That's our state bird here.
Hmm.
Well, Jack, I've been poking around looking at some of the stuff that you got going on, and it's exciting because there's so much things that are happening on the internet where people are always pushing their self-serving agenda. And of course, when they're doing that, they have a bias towards it because it's their product or service. So what you're talking about is what used to be called word of mouth, and that's the way a lot of people grow their business. And there's it's now more referral marketing, and I know there's organizations that do this, and I won't mention any names of the organizations, but usually I don't like that kind of thing because it's kind of forced referrals where you have sort of a quota or it's expected of you to give these referrals. Where what you're talking about, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's actually the customer that is satisfied with the product or service that ends up doing the referral. Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah, absolutely. And you hit the nail on the head with some of those groups and organizations that are trying to take sort of an organic process and manufacture it by forcing referrals onto someone or forcing someone to provide referrals for that group. So if you can sort of deputize and incentivize your existing happy client base to give referrals easier and you're allowing them a platform to do so, then they will do so. Everybody leaves small business shops, salons, restaurants, breweries that they've had a good experience with the full intent of, I'm going to tell somebody about this. I'm going to pop them a review for 5 stars. I'm going to share something on Facebook. They walk out those doors and life happens. And so you need a constant reminder that, hey, you had a good time here. Why don't we incentivize you to share your positive experience with some people that you know, so they can have the same positive experience that you have?
No, you said incentivize, and sometimes people are they're sort of self-incentivized because they do want to tell people about it. And I know I've gone on and I've reviewed, like my friends that have Namaste Cafe in Uptown. I love their chicken masala, and I
Mm.
would leave a comment and I'd leave my little Magic Brad brand on there. I'm kind of doing it because it's self-serving for myself, but I do like the food, So there's the incentive, but you're talking about something different as far as incentivizing these customers other than their egos and their giving
Yeah.
them their own props. But what kind of incentive are you talking about that they get?
It's yeah, it's really up to the shop owner, merchant, small business owner, how they want to incentivize their client base. It could be anything from a $10 store credit for a referral that comes through the doors and spends money. It could be 10% off their next bill. It could be a windbreaker or a coffee
Okay.
mug with the company logo on it. You name it, you can be as creative as possible.
You mean they
And
could do like anything? Anything that they wanted? Like they could do like a weekend stay or something at their hotel or
absolutely, yes,
wow.
you could accrue points. One of the loyalty programs that we have, and this is just an example for a beauty and salon, spa, massage, wellness space, and they did a share on Facebook, a review on Facebook, and then a mobile check-in, meaning that they checked into their Wi-Fi system. And so they delegated points to each one of those activities. The Facebook share was the one that had the most points, and that was 3. And then the review was 2. And then there was 1 point for the mobile check-in. At 6 points, they could choose from any different type of upgrade that they wanted. One was 10% off hair services. One was an upgrade to a free balayage. And then I believe one was like a full wax treatment.
So,
And
so this is actually more for business to consumer kind of business, but I suppose it could be for B2B too.
it could
Also,
absolutely be for B2B, but where my passion lies is where the platform is most effective, where you're seeing the most amount of fireworks, the most dramatic increase of business, and that is absolutely the B2C space.
see there because my background is in the event industry, so that's where my gears are turning for it and everything. And I
Sure.
see some of these places that do what they call group sales. So, like Chanhassen Dinner Theater or Canterbury Park or Valley Fair, they're always looking for corporate groups or like a wedding party to go on a cruise on Lake Minnetonka. So they would be able to use something like that, where I mean, you get a group of 100 people on the boat if they hold that many.
Hmm.
You get 100 people on there, all of those people could be potential referrers for that company now, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the genius and brilliance is the ease of referral. You can send them a link which is unique to that particular customer. And then they've got icons down at the bottom for Facebook, Twitter, email, text message, and Facebook Messenger. One client could potentially reach thousands of people with one Facebook post.
Got
So
it. Oh,
the metrics with 100 people could be tens of thousands of people that see that offer and may take interest and click through.
very cool. Well, speaking of on the bottom, I'm going to click this on here. That's how you can learn more about this. I created this domain and just forwarded it to the website for this what would you call it? A platform or a
A
software?
CRM, automated, referral CRM. The basic foundation is referrals, retention, review, and those 3 things are what small businesses struggle with in those first 6 to 12 months, but are also things that need constant maintenance throughout that business's life cycle.
Well, this is intriguing to me because I'm online a lot. I mean, I'm 63 years old, so I'm in no way no Gen Z or anything for all that kind of stuff. But I've been watching the internet for a long time and watching it evolve from when it used to be a lot of those little chat forums and stuff, just all text, and now we got this video thing going on, and the whole thing with the
You bet.
artificial intelligence that's happening with all this, all the different I don't know, it's just fascinating to me how all this stuff is evolving, and it's happening very fast. And some people sometimes they don't what's the word I'm looking for? Acclimate to this new technology. Like here's an example. There's a friend of mine that has I won't say which one it is, but it's a big party supply house,
Mhm.
and they've been around for a long time. I will say who it is. It's Lytton Paper. They've been around for a long time. So the old timers like myself, they are thinking that they could put their money into radio and they can get all that information. They can, buy a bunch of radio time and that's going to draw people in. The problem with that is you're going to a lot of people that are not relevant at all on that radio station. But with something
Mhm.
like this, you're very, very niche down because you've got people that actually bought products from you and then referred it out. And the probability of it resonating, and I bring that up because I sometimes talk about how if someone's selling hamburgers, hot dogs, and barbecue sauce, they're not going to sell it to vegetarians and vegans. There's a mismatch there. But if you
You
can
bet.
align that product with the customer, it can accelerate so much faster. Here's an example. I don't drink. So if someone sent me a thing, hey, it's happy hour over at Bob's Bar, I kind of don't care. But
Hmm.
that's not the people I'm hanging out with. So I'm probably more apt to be involved with breakfast places or uh, car washes or something that's non-alcoholic. But the probability of me going and doing business with that person when I'm referred that is much higher than when something's not in alignment like that.
You bet. And the sort of scattershot approach to we're going to throw and cast a wide net and, hopefully we can pull in a few tuna, so to speak, right? That is sort of an antiquated notion. And even with Facebook ads, there's retargeting that's involved. It's a major orchestration of data and metrics. And the weekly shopper ad and insert has kind of gone the way of the dodo because some of those people are people that don't use the internet, maybe don't have a need for that particular product, and may already have community connections where you're looking at 75 plus, and that person already knows someone for their plumbing, their roofing, their windows, their siding, their carpet cleaning, this, that, and the other thing. These people have used vendors all their lives, so maybe they're not even in contention to be open to one of those services. Whereas with this, you're doing a couple different things just to expand upon the referral side of it. You're also taking positive customer experience, and birds of a feather flock together. If you have a great customer that comes through your doors and it is always a pleasure to deal with, chances are that person has friends that are of the same caliber, of the
Yeah.
same material, that are pleasant to deal with, that pay their bill, that are honest people, and all of a sudden you have this wonderful sort of harvest of positive people coming in and out of your store door and brick and mortar location, and life just got a whole lot easier for you.
That's an interesting point in that we've all had those bad customers we don't want. So
Hmm.
I can see how when you start filtering out and get those bad customers out of the place and you got the good customers coming in, it ends up making business just much, much easier to do when you got the people that have money in their pocket and a good attitude. That's a good,
Yeah, smooth sailing, right?
it very well could be. So I don't like to do these too long because I want people to have the opportunity to consume, but we've been going for about, looks like 12, 13 minutes here, and we'll go for another 5 or so. But if anybody wants to know more about this, again, we got that little chaser on the bottom there. It says My Magic Deal. That's only going to be there active for, not forever. I mean, it's timely if you want to know about this. But if for some reason this domain is not going to the customer referral website, you can contact either Jack or myself, and we can direct you to that kind of thing, and just to let people know that. And the other thing I wanted to say is this is also very timely because of this COVID thing. A lot of people in my industry, the hospitality industry, are hurting right now really, really bad. So I can see how they need this kind of thing. And doesn't this work pretty much through their phone? They're using their phone to do the reviews and all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's all about ease. Again, making reviews easier to do where, okay, I got to do a 5-star review. I got to Google the business now. No, is this Schmidt's air conditioning? Is this Schmidt? Who is the owner for this one? It's sort of this, you get a phone book thrown at you when you search on Google. Whereas with the link that you shoot to the customer right after they leave that says, how was your experience? That customer clicks through, highlights the stars, and puts their review. Now, also on top of that, if it's anything less than 4 stars, that review is going to go to the owner and/or manager before it's posted to Google, so that if a customer has a less than satisfactory experience, you have the opportunity as the proprietor and owner to turn that into a positive experience and have that quality control where if somebody leaves, you don't know sometimes if they didn't have a great experience or somebody was having a bad day, one of your stylists or bartenders, whoever. And so it gives you that quality control over those reviews as well. And you can take control of customer experience as well.
That makes a lot of sense because I've had situations where, you know what, I didn't get very good service, but then they came and they made amends with it and they made it all better. And now, okay, I'll give you another shot. So I think that
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense to be able to kind of regain your respect.
Yeah, you could potentially make a lifelong customer for somebody that, I think personally for myself, I think customer service is sort of a lost art. And if I
It
would
is.
have somebody follow up with me and say, "Hey, I understood that you weren't particularly happy. Could you tell me more about your experience?" You would make a huge impression upon me. If you had good food, I would absolutely come back to your establishment because of that extra mile that they went just to make sure I was happy.
Yeah, there was a speaker years ago. His name's Jim Cathcart, and he told a story because he's a Harley driver, and he used to buy all of his stuff from this same one Harley Davidson dealer. And he went in there
Mhm.
one time where the boss wasn't there, but a counter person was there. And he says, "I need to return these gloves or exchange them because they're just too small." And the counter person wouldn't do it because they didn't have the authority to be able to do that. And
Sure.
fortunately, Jim had been going to that Harley Davidson dealer long enough, so he understood that maybe he could talk to the boss because he knew the boss. But customer service, like I said, it is a lost art where sometimes people are just so much about the regulation and all that that you gotta respect the customer because without them, you don't have a business.
Company policy, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, the personal touch has lost its way. But there lies in one of the greatest superpowers of small business is that you have that face to face, people know your name. And what the platform does is allows us to insulate ourselves with referrals and a robust plan to freeze out the corporate juggernauts, Amazon and Walmart, that are sucking money out of our communities and our economies, and really just insulating ourselves from those outside
That's
influences.
also a very interesting point because there are the big boys that are kind of like sucking. I like the mom and pop shops. This sort of gives an opportunity for the mom and pop shop to kind of get it going again because I know they've got a lot of their own government regulations and rent and taxes and employee regulations, and it's hard for a small business owner because they're busy dealing with all these restrictions. If they had a piece of software like this that kind of made the things go, they could be able to get more business and pay all those bills and all that craziness they got to deal with.
You bet. Yeah, we like to put it as it's a all in one turnkey marketing department for a few bucks an hour, and it's
Very cool.
24/7.
Well, I'm going to put this back up here, the My Magic Deal. That's how you find it. I'm also going to put some links in the YouTube channel so that people can just click the link and go. But Jack, I appreciate you taking the time. I'm going to move this off. If you want to stay on, we'll have another chat after this, but I'm going to close it off for the folks that are watching. But I
Wonderful.
appreciate
Thank you, Brad.
your knowledge and expertise because I didn't. I know a lot more about this now, and it takes time to understand all this stuff. But it sounds very, very cool.
Thanks, Brad. We'll talk after.
Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and berries, if you want, go to My Magic Deal. I appreciate you being here on my channel for the. Here, I'll put it up there. Trying to find where it is. There it is. Dun, dun, dun. The Magic Brad Morning Show. So, thank you very much. I'm going to sign off. Enjoy the rest of your day. Be well, be safe, and check it out. MyMagicDeal.com. Bye.